Morning, everybody, and welcome to the East Brandywine Township Board of Supervisors AM meeting for Thursday, March 3rd. Just a reminder, there will be a recording device being used during this meeting. I'm going to read the public comment for agenda items, rules for conduct of public meetings established by Resolution 2001-08. The time allotted to each individual making a comment shall be 3 minutes unless otherwise set by the presiding officer. Additional public comment may be granted at the discretion of the presiding officer at the conclusion of the meeting. I'm going to turn it over to Chief real quick, and we'll start with the promotion and swearing in of Officer Juan Lemus to Corporal.
Where's he at? Juan, come on up. Leila, you want to join us with Ariana? Here, just stay over here. You can stay over here. Hi, Ariana, how are you? You gonna help out today? You want to hold the Bible for a day? Good morning. I'm Mark Cosi, I'm the police chief for East Brandywine Township. I am extremely honored this morning to present Juan Lemus, who is being promoted to the rank of corporal. Juan was hired by us in January 2015. He's involved in our department's firearms program. He is on the county drug task force, and he is one of the team operators on the regional SWAT team. And congratulations. And I'm going to allow our chairman of the Board of Supervisors, Mr. Kyle Scribner, to administer his oath.
Good morning. Okay, Juan, place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. I state your name. Do solemnly swear and affirm that I will support, obey, defend the Constitution of the United States of America, the laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, the laws and ordinances of the Township of East Brandywine, the law enforcement code of ethics, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as police corporal with fidelity to the best of my ability. I will uphold, obey, and enforce the law without consideration to a person's race, color, sex, religious creed, sexual orientation, age, national origin, ancestry, handicap, or disability. State I do.
I do.
Congratulations. I assume not everybody's staying for this meeting.
Come on, just stay up here. No, we got the accommodations.
Congratulations.
Next on the agenda is accommodations, and these accommodations are going to Corporal Juan Lemus, Officer Danny Miller. Ken, I saw you running around here somewhere. Would you come up? And if there's any representative from the East Brandywine Fire Company that was at Mr. Kohlmeier's ambulance call, or anyone here from Minquist Ambulance, you come on up here. As you're all aware, about a couple weeks ago, one of our very own Captain Greg Kohlmeier, he is head of our EMS division of the fire company. He had a very serious heart attack. He was in full cardiac arrest when the call came in. The first responding officers on the scene were Juan and Danny. Ken Adder showed up at the same time with these two officers, and they began CPR and use of the AED. This effort went on for quite a while. Following that, some officers from the fire company and Minquist Ambulance showed up, and there was a very valiant effort to save his life. He was loaded into an ambulance. He was moved to Chester County Hospital. When he got to the hospital, he still did not have a heartbeat. The people in the emergency room worked on him, and he survived this. It goes without saying that the efforts of everyone that were involved that day saved Greg's life. So I am issuing what's referred to in our department as a merit accommodation that is taking actions in the line of duty that saves a life. On Monday, February 7th, 2022 at 14:39 hours, East Brandywine Township Police Corporal Juan Lemus and Officer Danny Miller were dispatched to a residence in the 100 block of Bolero Drive for a reported cardiac arrest. Upon arrival, the officers in East Brandywine Fire Company EMT Ken Adder found one of their own East Brandywine Fire Company EMS Captain Craig Kohlmeyer unconscious and in full cardiac arrest. Corporal Lemus, Officer Miller, and EMT Ken Adder quickly assessed the situation, began CPR, and administered the AED. Within minutes, additional EB Fire Company and Minquist Fire Company EMS personnel began to arrive and assisted in the advanced life support effort. Mr. Kohlmeyer was subsequently moved to Chester County Hospital, at which time emergency room personnel continued his life-saving care. It was later learned that Captain Kohlmeyer survived his cardiac emergency. The East Brandywine Township Police Department police officers, East Brandywine Fire Company personnel, and EMS, Minquist Fire Company EMS, and the emergency room staff at Chester County Hospital are to be commended for their outstanding performance while in the line of duty. Their unwavering effort, professionalism, and teamwork saved the life of Captain Craig Kohlmeyer. Awarded this day by the East Brandywine Township Board of Supervisors, March 3rd, 2022. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. For those who wish to head over to the police station now, please do so. We appreciate you all coming. Okay, we're going to go on to minutes of previous meeting reports. I don't believe we have any old business. Permission to appoint road crew foreman. I'll turn that over to Matt.
Thank you. During the January meeting, the board approved promoting a member of the Public Works Road Department to Road Department foreman. Last week, Manager Revan and I interviewed 2 candidates and have chosen one of the candidates to promote. It's my privilege to nominate Derrick Kloss to Road Department foreman. Derrick has been with the department for 7 years and has become a valuable asset to the department. He's demonstrated his ability to communicate with residents of East Brandywine Township and his ability to lead the crew during projects. Derrick has electrical skills, excuse me, and was the head of his department during a previous job. I respectfully request the board accept Derrick Kloss as Road Department foreman.
You guys have any questions? Anybody in the audience have any questions?
No?
Okay, somebody want to make a motion?
I move that we appoint a road crewman foreman. Sorry, what was his?
Derrick Haas.
Derrick.
Derrick. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Sure. I'll turn it over to Tom now for the conditional use decision for the
Thank you.
ELU Plainbrook Guthriesville LLC.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before you this morning is a proposed decision in order on the application of ELU Plainbrook Guthriesville LLC. The application is regarding a property with mailing addresses of 1130 and 1136 Horseshoe Pike. The property is located to the south of the existing Applecross Village Towns development. The applicant is requesting conditional use approval to use the property as a traditional neighborhood development and also to construct 89 townhouses on the property. The application also requested 5 modifications from provisions of the township zoning ordinance, which are permitted in the context of a conditional use application in these circumstances. This decision in order has been previously circulated to the board for review. The order that's attached to the decision has the effect of approving the requested modifications and is subject to 27 conditions. So it would be appropriate this time, I'm not going to take the time to summarize all those conditions because they are in writing, and once you make a decision on the board, it will be communicated to the applicant. It would be appropriate to entertain a motion to approve this decision in order and accept any public comment on it. Thank you.
Thank you. This has been before the board for quite some time. Different members, different times, but everybody's been caught up to speed on this. I guess the question, I have no questions. All of my questions have been answered. I'll ask the audience if there's any questions, and then I'll turn it over to the board.
Let me just say one other thing that I forgot. Mr. Croft, Supervisor Croft, was not on the board when this hearing was conducted last year, but he has reviewed the entire record and all the exhibits, and he will participate today in making the decision.
I actually watched the over 3-hour hearing, so I took the time to bring myself completely up to speed.
I opened it up to the audience. I did not see anybody with any questions, so I guess I'll ask again if the board has any questions.
No questions.
All right, well, a motion would be appropriate.
I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use application for ELU Plainbrook, Guthriesville LLC, as read from our solicitor with the 27 conditions.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen.
Just want to say, John Jarris, on behalf of the applicant, we'd like to thank the board, its consultants, for all the time and effort put into this application over these past several years. We also would like to thank Mr. Croft for taking the time to catch himself up on that, and I bet it was one of the most exciting 3 hours you had in your lifetime to review that hearing. But again, thank you for all your time
Answered
and
my
effort.
questions, though. That's what's
Great.
important.
Thank you so much for doing that, and we look forward to land development. Thanks again.
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to turn it over to the award contract and purchase of plants for Bondsville Mill, and I'll turn that over to Jim Buxala.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We are looking to purchase plants for Phase 3 of the garden project at Bondsville Mill Park. Phase 3 is part of the second round of grants. Grants from the state and the county are supporting this. Was awarded in 2020. We asked the board for permission to prepare a bid document and to advertise at your January 20th meeting. The bids were advertised on February 11th and closed on Monday, February 28th. All Seasons Landscaping of Aston, Pennsylvania, was a sole bidder, but their credentials are exemplary. Some of their clients are Pennsylvania Horticultural Society, City of Philadelphia Parks and Recreation. They do a lot of big projects. This is something that they're familiar with doing. Their bid was $61,840. That is in line with the $58,850 that we had budgeted for the plants, and is being covered by the grants. So I would request that the board accept the contractor for the supply of plants for the garden project at Bondsville Mill.
Any questions from the audience? Any questions from the board?
What was the bid amount?
The bid was $61,840.
And what period of time will we be receiving the plants?
We're anxious to get the approval of the contractor now because some of the plants have to be started from seed.
Okay, so it's a long-term,
The plants are scheduled to be delivered the end of the summer. We plan to be installing them in September and October of this year.
and the amount again was 61,000?
$61,840.
And if I may, if the board's inclined to grant the award, it should be subject to the low bidder executing contract and supplying the required bonds and insurance.
All right, I'll make a motion to accept the contract with the stipulations that were just outlined by the solicitor.
Okay.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Luke for the contract amendment for the Chester County Grant Program.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. All three of these agenda items actually pertain to the Bondsville Mill Park. As we just discussed moments ago, we have a timeline for the installation of these plants in the fall. In order to do so, we need to extend the deadline or the time period for our grant. And so before you this morning is a contract amendment which gives the township more time to complete the projects we just discussed.
Okay, I think that's pretty simple. I don't have any issues with that. I don't think, any board members?
No.
Yeah, it's with Chester County, and it extends the deadline through October 3rd, 2022.
Is that a deadline we can meet?
Yes.
Okay.
I can give some details.
Sure.
This extension is for the county grant that was awarded in 2019, and is for the first round of grants that they provided. It was a 3-year grant, so it expires in April of this year. And the extension would be to complete the Phase 2 of the park project, which is the installation of the infrastructure and hardscape and the installation of the amended soils, everything up to the planting. The planting is actually the second round of grants, so we have time on that. So we are scheduled to complete the Phase 2 of the program by the end of August for the installation of plant in September and October. So yes, this should be sufficient time to complete the work under that grant.
All right, thank you.
Do you need the board approval for an authorization on that, or is that just?
Yeah, I think that's what it's on there for.
Yes, it is. It's a contract, so.
So I'll make a motion to accept the contract for amendment number 1 of the Chester County Grant Program for the Bondsville Park improvements Phase 1 and Phase 2.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, Jim again, contract with Chester County Beekeepers Association.
Okay, so on January 25th, the Bondsville Mill Park Committee members met with the representatives from the Chester County Beekeepers Association with regard to establishing an aviary at the park. They have been supportive of education programs at the park with regard to nature and pollinators and the like. And they would like to establish an aviary there, and as part of doing that, they would install beehives along with a fence around those hives and signage regarding safety and education around the hives. And they would have instructional meetings at the park on a monthly basis. That would be about 20 people per event to educate those interested in establishing aviaries of their own about what's involved and promote that kind of thing. Going forward, they would also be supporting our education programs at the park. The goals of the program at the park include education, providing an example of an outdoor aviary, so they would have programs that would be at the aviary as well as inside the spinning room of the plant of the park. And they've drafted a contract that I've supplied to Luke, and he has provided that to Tom for his review. And the only thing that's not in the contract, which we have discussed with them, is insurance. And they have insurance, and they will be adding the township as an additional insured as part of that policy. So I would ask that the contract, which lays out the arrangements between the park and their association, be considered and approved by the board, so that we can move forward with the programs.
I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
I reviewed the contract. My first question is, who's constructing the fence?
They are, for the fence and the signage, they will be supporting the park financially with donations as well that support the education program, and I believe will be contributing towards the security system that we've been talking about at the park.
So how high is the fence?
Frankly, I think it's a standard split rail fence, so
Oh,
4
it's not a fence to keep critters out.
It's a split rail fence that will be lined with turkey wire.
All right.
So that will.
So do they need a permit for that?
For the fence?
That falls
don't
in the whole
believe
permit,
so.
the whole area, whole park has a permit.
I don't think. I don't believe
Fences
so.
generally do not require building permits.
Fences don't?
No.
Okay. My second question is, there's a penalty clause in there at the end where it's a liquidated damage clause. If we use any spray in the area that has any adverse effect on the bees, so somebody's got to coordinate with that with the Public Works Department, so they know they can't spray.
Well, go ahead.
If I may, the Public Works Department is actually prohibited from spraying pesticides or herbicides without a license from the state. So already,
I know, but they're getting that license.
Supposed to be getting licensed.
Right, they're getting that license. It's not inconceivable that a year from now or 2 years from now, they go in there and spray and have no idea that you're not allowed to spray. All I'm asking is that they be informed and know that they can't spray there.
Now, coordination is important, and I think it's,
That's
at
my
least
point.
at this point in
Somebody's got
time,
to tell them.
Sandy is very,
Yeah, but somebody's
coordinating
gotta
very
tell them,
closely with them.
so-
But you're right, that should be formally, a formal notice should be provided for that. I agree.
Those were my two questions.
Okay.
He took my question.
The spray?
Yeah.
Yeah. $300 a hive, even if we don't hurt anything.
Understood. Just a couple comments, as Jim mentioned. They've indicated they'll provide the insurance, but we should include that in the contract, that they'll provide insurance and name the township as additional insured. There's also a provision in here about not holding us responsible for accidents, which I guess are bee stings. And I think that has to be slightly amended, so they're indicating they'll indemnify and hold us harmless from any claims that are brought as a result of bee stings or some other accident.
So how should that be adjusted?
Well, I'll send you the language
Okay.
that should go in there.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with the Chester County Beekeepers Association for Bondsville Mill.
I'll second.
I'm sorry, just before we take a vote, may I suggest an amendment to the motion to include the provisions that the solicitor just recommended, amending the
Sure.
contract in that fashion?
Sure.
Sorry,
No.
I can't make a friendly
Whatever.
amendment, but I do think we should amend that.
So I amend my motion to include the comments made.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. I don't think we have anything else other than a notice an executive session was held on February 25th, 2022 to discuss legal matters. Do I have a motion to?
And pardon my interruption again, we did have, at the same time, we also met to discuss personnel matters. So that meeting, the executive session was for
ASB.
legal and personnel
So an
matters.
executive session was held on February 25th, 2022 to discuss legal and personnel matters. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.